So what's going on, guys? Nice guy driver. So today I did an experiment just to see what would happen, and I turned the area filter off. Normally I have a area filter on Lyft side just to see if Lyft would still pay me a little better than Uber without the area filter for rides. And sure enough, without the area filter, I still got better offers, shorter distance offers on the Lyft side over Uber. So it's just Uber being blatant, like they're trying to get the driver's acceptance rate up, but putting us in classes like standard and advanced mode. They got really smart people working on how do we trick drivers, and it's still not working. They probably got the smartest minds, believe it or not, on this. They got a lot of input and data showing that drivers will fall for these scams that they're pulling. They're not really scams, but let's just call it shady tactics. And here's my theory. My theory is it's working for new drivers. Yes, everything they're doing, I believe it is working. Because why else would they keep doing it over and over and over and over and over? Because there's still people taking the bait. There's still people want to keep their acceptance rate up. You know, they want to get the Uber Pro card, and they want to stay a certain level. So all their tactics are working. The problem is chasing away veterans. Everything they're doing is just chasing away veterans. It's not working. It's not fooling us. So I would say everybody that's been driving over a year has already figured out their game. And not that Lyft is much better, but as long as you got a decent acceptance rate, Lyft is giving you per dollar, at least in my area. I don't want to say everybody's area, but at least in my area in Connecticut, and not all of Connecticut is the same. That's a misconception. Some places in Connecticut, you're only going to get Uber offers. You're not going to get any Lyft because there's not enough Lyft drivers. But that's one thing. There's less competition on Lyft. That's another reason why it might seem that we're getting more offers lately on Lyft, because Lyft used to be completely dead all the time. And it probably is going to be dead again because we're coming up on spring break. Once spring break kicks in, that is probably the worst time to drive for either app. That's when I know that they're going to throw out, Uber's going to throw out the lowest offers. Even Lyft is going to come down on their offers, come down on their challenges, because they can. Because they know there's desperate drivers out there that still need to make some money, and they know it's slow. So that what they're going to do is they're going to offer us garbage during spring break. Non-stop garbage. They don't care if it's a rainy day and the demand is high. They're going to give us this fake surge. You're going to go running chasing the surge, and as soon as you get there and it's a high surge, it disappears on the map. I know you experienced this. You're chasing it. It's going across town to get to where the highest surge is, and it disappears off the map. They suckered you. I don't chase surge. A lot of times when I maybe I'm lucky because the area I'm in like in a downtown area. So when I turn that app on, I'm already usually in a hot zone, depending on either or, whether it's usually definitely Lyft, I'm in a good area. But even sometimes on Uber, I just turn my app on at my house and literally I got surge. But I noticed when I try to chase it, it disappears. So that's my number one thing, is I don't chase surge. If it's not already there, I'm not running across town to chase it. It's not worth it. But my theory is true that per dollar, Uber is paying me less than Lyft. Lyft is paying me usually around about, I want to say, $2 to $3 more for every mile. So like, if it's a short trip, Uber will offer me sometimes base fare, and I think base fare for Uber is like $3.95. And for some reason, on Lyft, for that same distance, Lyft will offer me like $7. So $2 to $3 more for the same distance. And it drives me nuts, but what can you do? This is the game they're gonna continue to play. There's nothing we can do about it. It's gonna continue on. I wish I could say there'll be a solution in the future, but there won't. I'm telling you straight up, there will never be a solution for any app going in the future. I even seen in Arizona, where it used to be Jeep AZ, but I forgot, it's called Mike Drop something, his new name. And he was saying how the new company, PAX, they're dropping the ball because they're not doing what the drivers need to do. Like if they don't take a ride fast enough, it's like a schedule app to compete with Uber and Lyft. But if they don't take a ride within a short time frame, like 2 minutes, they take it away and give it to another driver. So, and that's an app that supposedly is built with driver's input. I wish people in Connecticut can come together and build a better app. But I think the perfect app, in my opinion, is going to have to be an app that the only way the company is going to make money is, I think it's going to have to be a subscription. This is my theory. All apps in the future will be subscription. And they're going to stop scamming and giving the drivers like 80% of the fare, minimum. They're going to have to. And if we could just get one app that say, I'll give an example, say only takes $20 to $30 a month, you pay the subscription. With that subscription, you get, say, 98% of every single ride. Think about that. That would actually work. If I only had to pay $29.98 or $29.97, just make it sound smaller than $30 a month, but yet I get like 98%. And the reason why I say 98% is because the company should get something per ride, like $1 to $2 per ride. I think that's fair. You pay a flat monthly fee, and they take like $1 or $2, say $1.97 per ride, and the driver gets 98%, it would work. So for every $10, you would get like 8 and some change. It would work. Drivers would be happy. I would gladly pay 98%. I would gladly get 98% and be happy paying the $30 a month. And it's a normal subscription. They can't get on until they pay their monthly's due, and they haven't paid it, the app blocks them till they pay their subscription. Let's say they pay their subscription either on the 1st or the 15th of the month, depending on where they fall. The company could keep innovating. There won't really need to be any surge. There won't need to be any surge. And to dumb down the saturation, you try it with only 100 drivers in your state. The first 100 drivers get on, they try it out, to get all the kinks out, and then they slowly start moving state to state before they just expand all over the country. I think it would work. This would force Uber and Lyft's hand to go to a subscription model base with a similar payout. Everybody would win. The company would win because they would get their set subscription plus $1.97 each ride, and it would work. The passenger would pay what's called the transaction fee or whatever, so the driver wouldn't pay that. The driver's just basically paying the $30. That's it. That's all the driver pays, $30. The passenger would pay whatever the fare is plus the $1.97. So if it's a $10 ride, they're paying close to $12. And there's no surge. So the passengers would always know what their fee is. They would always know what their fare is. And I would say minimum base fare should be like $8. Somebody told me in the comments once that $8 is too high. I don't think so. I think the shortest distance ride should be a minimum. We can even go lower than that. We can go like base ride if it's like literally 5 minutes. I would say it shouldn't be like, it should be like $5-6, something like that. Let's say $6. Base fare, $6. This way the driver would still get like $5. The company would make the $1.97. So $6 base. That's the shortest distance ride in town, around the corner. I think that would work. A subscription base. Let me know in the comments you think a subscription based model with something similar like this would work in your area. I think it would work. I think this would work even in New York City. Like if drivers were paying a flat $30 a month, passengers would easily pay, per transaction, the $1.97 plus whatever the ride is. I like to receive $10. As a private driver, I think in-town rides should be no less than $10. But I'm being nice because there could be like a short 2-minute pickup, 3 minutes around the corner, something like that should be a little bit less. So that's why I'm saying $6. So the driver gets $5. I don't think the driver should be paid anything less than $5. This base fare of $3.98 or whatever it is on Uber is ridiculous because sometimes they want you to go pick somebody up 8 minutes away. It's a 7-minute trip for $3.98. Nothing that pays the driver should be less than $5. Let me know in the comments if you think this will work. I think this would work. And it would force Uber and Lyft hand. If it caught on, think about it. It would force Uber and Lyft's hand where they eventually would have to go to a subscription-based model. Because all the drivers would jump ship. I guarantee if you launch this in a big city in Connecticut, like New Haven, every single driver would jump on board. Now, I'm not saying they would stop doing Uber and Lyft. I'm not saying that. I think you should do all three. But I guarantee you every driver will jump on board. Every single driver in any town, in any state. Your comments, please subscribe, like, comment, click the bell icon. It's a Nice Guy Driver, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.